Hello, happy Saturday night, everybody. Right now I'm in Maryville, Tennessee. I'm in the Kroger parking lot waiting for Jackie to get groceries. We just had dinner. Uh, so today we actually met with a realtor down here to see if we like any of these houses down here in Maryville. But yeah, there's more. I'm gonna back up. This morning we started in South Carolina, and we went up to this lake. It's called Lake Keowee, Keowee, and that lake, if you ever get a chance, beautiful. Yeah, like the sand is orange, like St. George sand, and it's a huge. Whoa! It's a huge lake with a ton of coves, so you feel like you're at your own little private beach the whole time you're there. And yeah, we stayed there for about an hour, and this realtor had appointments set up for us at 5:30 on. So we're like, hey, we just got to get to Maryville by 5:30. So we left there, and we had to do a ride in, that was South Carolina. We had to do a ride in North Carolina before we crossed into Tennessee. So we found a park there, and then we were on our way. And we had, by that point, we had just enough time to make it, according to Google Maps. And I don't know if Jackie posted it or not yet, but Google Maps took us through quite a route. Took us on this dirt road for about 10 miles. If you look at the map, between North Carolina and Tennessee through the Great Smoky Mountains, there's Highway 129. It goes between Fontana Dam to Wellsville, just outside of Maryville. And that section of road is Highway 129, is also called the Dragon. And as we pull up off of this dirt road to enter the tail of the Dragon, it was just a highway as far as I was concerned. But we went from the middle of the woods, nobody around. We come around this corner, and there's a ton of like exotic cars and motorcycles. Like we saw several Porsches, we saw some Lamborghinis, we saw some Audis, we saw some M3s, tons of bullet bikes, tons of Harleys, yeah, just all these high performance things. And as we come around the corner, there's a couple signs that say no trucks longer than 30 feet without a permit. And then there was another one, no trucks longer than 30 feet without a permit. And then there was another one that said, caution, truckers, turn around, don't take this road. And I'm like, I don't want to turn around, we got to meet with our realtor. And we're in a 35 footer. And so as I come through this swarm of super expensive automobiles, everybody's cheering for us. Like, yeah! It felt like we were at Sand Mountain or something, taking some Jeep up the face. Like that kind of feeling, except for instead of sand, it was just a highway. And so we then proceeded through about 40 miles of non-stop hairpin turns, and we got bullet bikes passing us the other way, and every so often, like fortunately, a lot of people saw us going into the tail of the Dragon, so I think a lot of them stayed there and gave us time to get through. But once in a while we'd get someone that would catch up to us, and there's no shoulders anywhere. Like, this is tight roads, and as you enter the tail of the Dragon, there's signs that say stay in your lane, don't cross the double yellows, because every corner is a blind corner, and like it's a bullet bike paradise. And the whole time I was just like, this is awesome, I would love to drive this in a car or on a bike. And so we just took our time, 15-mile-an-hour turns the whole way. And yeah, we never got more than one or two cars behind us, because every mile or two there was it wasn't a shoulder, it was like a little bulge on the hairpin. So when we were on the outside lane of the hairpin turn, I would take that bulge as wide as I could to give them just enough space to zip past me on the inside. And I think everybody there was pretty courteous and pretty cool with us being there. And then as we finished, we came out the other tail of the Dragon. There's another crowd of bullet bikes just cheering for us. And on the way, there's several photographers. So it's like 129photos.com or power129photos.com. There's like, we passed like 6 websites. I'm like, is this a radio station? Turns out it's the Highway 129. But there's tons of photography websites that just take pictures of cars and bikes all day on this stretch of highway. So we'll be on some of those websites here if we're not already. But I'm not too interested in that. But yeah, when we pass the photographers, I just give them a thumbs up and tried my best to stay in my lane and not rip the side off the camper as we come around these rock walls, and try not to go off the edge as we come across the cliffside. But yeah, that was quite the drive, and I highly recommend it for any of you performance car or bullet bike junkies. Like, I want to come back and drive that with a real piece of automobile machinery. Anyway, we looked at a couple houses here in Maryville. Not in love with any of them. Maybe that'll change in a couple months, but for now, there's nothing here for us. But tomorrow we're going to go look at a couple others over in Knoxville area, just because I think a lot of these people here in Tennessee feel the same way about us Utahns that we feel about Californians. Like, there's clear resentment for outsiders that are invading. And yeah, we had the realtor is super nice and her husband's super nice, but like everybody else, like the neighbors, they were not interested in us. One guy brought out his dog to come bark at us and tell us how we shouldn't be parking in front of his house. I'm like, where do you want us to park? Your streets suck. So it's not Maryville. I mean, maybe it is, but it's not any of the 3 that we looked at today. But yeah, stay tuned for that. We might spend a couple more days here to get some oil changed and stuff, to maybe look at a couple more houses around Knoxville. But so far, nothing is ringing our bell, and the search continues. Yeah, we'll give it a couple days to look at houses, and then we'll just get back on the road and reevaluate later. We're still gathering information. Love you guys. Have a great night.